People are not leaving Costa Rica. I'm going to refute some of the videos that are being posted on YouTube and explain from my experiences why I do not think that people are leaving Costa Rica and why there is a backlog of applications for residency in Costa Rica. Welcome back. This is Charmel, living in Grecia, sharing information about moving to Costa Rica and retiring in Costa Rica. So I've seen a lot of YouTube videos recently about the top 5, top 10, top 25 reasons that people are leaving Costa Rica, which is not true in my opinion, based on my experiences after living here about 10 months. Now I'm going to take these one issue at a time, and this may take a while. It may take 3 or 4 video segments to cover everything. And then we'll talk about what people love about moving to Costa Rica. And then we'll talk a little bit about why I think people are posting these YouTube videos about people leaving Costa Rica. So again, I want to remind you that I'm not a relocation expert, and I don't offer any kind of consultations or any retreats or any kind of webinars where people pay to get information about moving to Costa Rica. I'm just sharing information as I experience it. I live in the Central Valley area of Costa Rica, which admittedly is probably not as expensive as living at a beach resort area. I live in a gated community with security guards, which I think is a wise decision for someone my age. So the top 2 issues that people have about retiring abroad, the questions I get asked the most are about the cost of living and health care. So let's look first at the cost of living in Costa Rica. I do not know anybody who is spending $4,500 a month to move here, which is a claim I have seen on some YouTube videos. Now, you could spend $4,500 a month to live here, but it's certainly not required. Maybe if you lived at an expensive beach resort location and you ate out all of your meals, none of them at local sidewalk soda cafes, then you might be able to spend $4,500 a month if for more than one person, like for a couple or a family. Milk is not $6.50 a gallon, as I saw claimed on one YouTube video. This is milk that I buy every week for the equivalent of $1.50. It's 730 colones at a local supermarket, the equivalent of $1.50, and it is 946 milliliters, which ChatGPT tells me is a gallon. I guess if you bought one that's twice this size, it could cost $3. But again, it's $1.50 a gallon, not $6.50 a gallon, as I saw claimed. Now, I am always careful to buy the milk that is pasteurized and homogenized, and it's in the refrigerated section. There are all types of milk on the shelves in Costa Rica grocery stores, and if somebody is spending $6.50 a gallon, then I don't know what kind of milk they are buying or where they're buying that milk. Lunch is usually $5 to $12 per meal, and that can be enough for 2 meals for me in most cases. Now, again, I'm not eating at expensive restaurants at expensive beach locations. But I want to tell you about a lunch that I recently enjoyed with two of my friends. It was at a lovely outdoor setting in the Naranjo area, which with some outdoor decks, and there was a Tico who was barbecuing ribs on a big grill. And so for lunch, for about $12, I had this huge rib plus some potatoes and a salad. The rib was so large that I could only eat about 1/3 of it. And the rest of it I took home with me in a little to-go bag. And I was able to use that rib meat for 2 more meals. Now, whenever I go out to eat, I always take with me my own little take-home, um, you know, extra food pouches for doggy bags, as we used to call them. Anyway, so that I'm not using plastic containers that they sometimes provide at some of the restaurants, although a lot of them do use plant-based containers for takeout food, for take-home food. Now, my electricity bill every month is about $35 to $45, about an average of $40 per month year round for electricity. There is no such thing as a gas bill. And my water bill is usually about $10 to $20. And that's true for everyone year round. Year round water, $10 to $20. Year round electricity, $40. So from the farmer's market, we can enjoy very affordable fresh produce year round. Strawberries and watermelon year round. So I buy eggs from an organic provider, and 15 eggs cost the equivalent of 5 USA dollars. Now, I'm not sure what they're running in the United States these days, but eggs are abundant and affordable, and they're so affordable that every morning I usually share one with my dog. I mix it up with some coconut oil, which is good for her skin, and mix it in with her dog food, and she really enjoys that. That's not every morning. Some mornings she has half a banana because bananas are so abundant and inexpensive. So when I go to the farmer's market, I would like to buy just 7 eggs to last me for a week. But not 7 eggs, 7 bananas. But you can't buy just 7 bananas at the farmer's market. They come in bunches of like 10, 12, or 15, and they're so affordable. A bunch is like the equivalent of about $1 in USA money. And so sometimes I also share those with my dog. She might get half a small banana every day. Now, since bananas don't last that long, I can't eat them all before they start to turn brown and go bad. So I've learned to make banana bread, and I've also learned to cut them up and put them in Jello and keep that in the refrigerator with some other fruit also in the Jello fruit. Fresh fruit is very abundant in Costa Rica. And that way, I preserve my bananas a little bit longer, and it makes a nice, cool, refreshing snack. Now, if you have to have USA food products, it is going to be more expensive. And sometimes I like to buy some peanut butter in a jar, or some cheese that I'm used to from the United States, or some chocolate bars. Now, I have bought some organic Costa Rica chocolate bars here at supermarkets. They're easy to find, and it's Costa Rica cocoa beans, so it's local and affordable. So a chocolate bar with 85% cocoa, organic cocoa, will run about $5 to $7, which sounds like a lot, but that's no different from what it costs in the United States if you want to eat a good quality chocolate bar with 70 to 85% organic cocoa. Housing is less expensive in Costa Rica, and that's for buying a house or renting a house or an apartment. Now, it depends on where you're from in the United States. Housing is not that much less expensive if you come from a state like Arkansas, which I do. The housing prices are pretty much equivalent. But if you come from California or another place where housing is very expensive, then you're going to be very delighted about how much house you can buy for the same amount of money. Now, I pay quite a bit in rent for where I live. I enjoy the amenities, like the gardens are always taken care of. There are walking trails through the botanical gardens. Someone else takes care of the pool and the clubhouse, the basketball courts and the tennis courts and the yoga gathering place and all of those things that I enjoy, plus the security gates and the security guards. So I probably pay more than most people do for rent. I know that I do, but a lot of people pay a lot less than I do. Some people pay half of what I do, but it just depends on what it is that you want to pay for, what fits in your budget. Now, I've seen some video segments that claim that taxes in Costa Rica are very expensive. So I'll tell you what I know about that. I haven't bought a house here yet, but some friends of mine bought a very nice 3-bedroom house, and the taxes on that are only $500 a year. I'm not sure how that compares to the United States, but they were very happy to share that information with me. So as I've mentioned in a previous video segment, there are 38,000 to 64,000 immigration applications pending with the Costa Rica government, depending on who you talk to. So that alone makes me think that people are moving to Costa Rica, not moving away from Costa Rica. So we're going to cover some more of these subjects in the next few videos. But first, I want to say that I think the reason some people are posting these videos about why people are leaving Costa Rica, they post these really attention-getting headlines with these faces. Oh my gosh, all these people are leaving Costa Rica, and here are all of the reasons why. And that way, thousands of people then click on those video segments and watch them. So then they get advertisers. Now, that's not what's happening with right here with these video segments. I'm not getting any advertising money. I'm just sharing information that I experience. So I'm basing that information on the things that I know to be true from my experience. So I'm not trying to get thousands and thousands of clicks or subscribers or likes. I'm not looking for advertising. I'm just sharing information. So before I complete this series, we'll talk a little bit about healthcare, which is another big issue, security, another big issue, some of the other issues that people bring up in these YouTube videos. And then at the end, I'll tell you a little bit about all of the things that people love about moving to Costa Rica. If you have additional information, please put it in the comment section. Pura Vida. See you in the next video.